Hello and welcome back to the Blame Game. Congratulations to Team Liquid for 3-0ing EG in the finals. Initially, I predicted them to win on the dive, but then I became a coward after seeing their performance versus Dig, and I ended up predicting EG to win. Little did I know that Dignitas was actually just the second best team in the tournament. Speaking of the semis, I'm gonna skip over the obvious candidates for a Blame Game in Fudge and Fake God because I don't really feel like I have anything useful to say. In best of ones, covering a player who gets blown up might be good to show some lessons about things that they could learn, but when it's a full best of 5 of them just getting slammed, I feel like I don't have very much to contribute to the conversation. Before we dig into the finals, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, ding the bell, follow my Twitch, Twitter, OnlyFans. The post-game thread after the finals upset was mostly just hyping up Team Liquid's own players as well as memeing on all of the smack that EG talked during the lock-in tournament. To be honest, the criticism that was there wasn't even particularly harsh, with Jojo getting the most of it, but that was probably more due to his own trash talk towards Bjergsen after their first matchup.
It was about Bjerg. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I was surprised, because like when I first versed him, I thought, he would just do more stuff, but he just didn't do much. So I was like, I don't know, like, is this supposed to be the best player or something? Like, I was confused.
However, does this mean that some of his teammates are skirting by unnoticed? Let's start with Jojo first before looking at his teammates. His early game in all 3 games was actually quite good. While Bjerg had some great plays throughout the series, like his TP bot in game 1, Jojo made his own string of plays on TF in the top lane, initially finding a kill on Bwipo and later punishing TL's bot lane when they go up for an early lane swap. It's much the same story in game 2, where Bjerg is able to get on the map first by taking advantage of a blue buff timing for EG, handing it off to Jojopyun. Bjerg does this without shoving the wave first though, so Jojo can push and then make a follow-up play on Bjergsen himself. His lane control, or Bjergsen's selfishness, depending on how you want to define it, nets him some pretty good CSDs throughout the series. In game 3, he comboed well with Inspire to force Bjerg's flash, and then zoned him off the turret while the wave crashed. His wave manipulation continued by keeping it close to the turret, and Bjerg had to call teammates to help fix the wave. Later, Jojo used his lane control to find a roam top for a kill on Bwipo. After laning phase is where things begin to go off the rails for Jojo. He still has some good moments like game 2's Baron steal, but the rookie criticism shows most in his struggle to anticipate how team fights are going to progress. In game 1, his gold card fades and his port is too far away, so when he forces a 1v1 against Hans, the cleanse can be used on the exhaust instead of the gold card, and he gets clapped. In game 3, he doesn't hop the wall and goes for a long wraparound, but TL just turned to his front side, and the fight is over before he's in a position to do anything. Some of these plays are developing faster than he seems ready for. In game 3, he also had a nasty skirmish with the Xin ult steal, Chains flash ult combo, but then seemed obsessed with finding that the rest of the game. His misexecution on the play mid allowed Team Liquid back into the game, and the one in his own base was just a long shot. If you look at his flash positioning in both plays, they're good ideas and he's not that far off, but they're just very all or nothing. I'll say I agree with the points about Jojopyun just because they weren't especially harsh criticism, but I feel like he became a lightning rod for the community and a lot of other things went overlooked in this series. For instance, LEC MVP Inspired was invisible in games 1 and 2 despite coming into the series with a league-leading 3 kills and assists at 14 on average. In game 1, he could have flash stunned Bwipo point blank and had auto Q for a pretty guaranteed kill, but instead went for the range stun. He missed and Bwipo walks away safely. These playmaking issues around top lane continued when Impact tanks the turret early because the Graves buckshot the creeps away and can't drop damage when Inspired goes in, resulting in him dying in a 3v2 turret dive. Through the first 2 games, he only found 1 single assist in the first 14 minutes. However, even Inspired wasn't the furthest from his form through the rest of Lock-in. Danny had been a rock in the bot lane for them, leading the league in 4% while having a respectable CSD, and Vulcan was being heralded as potentially the best player in the entire LCS. Their problems, however, were largely tied to draft issues. Varus as a pick can work, though admittedly I am a hater, but his matchups versus Aphelios are support dependent while still scaling worse. When behind, Varus just becomes an alt bot, which by the way, Aphelios can do that too. It's slightly hindsight because you don't know the support matchup yet, but Jhin is just a better pick if you're going to be behind anyways. Despite spending 3 support bans in game 1 and game 2, EG end up in losing bot lanes because they pick defensive supports to protect their immobile AD carry. Braum in game 1 to stuff dives and stop Graves' burst, and in game 2, TK to protect from dives and GP ult. However, this still gives counterpick in all 3 lanes to Team Liquid while still outscaling EG. EG's bot lane is pushed in pretty much all series long, with the knock-on effect being that one of your best players is put on a defensive pick. Vulcan tries to make plays in the early game both times, but just struggles with the limited engage. And even when he does find them, they often backfire. From behind, poke Varus feels awful, so Danny is kind of just winging his build throughout the series. In game 3, when they finally get a decent draft, EG are able to have a much better early game and look like they could win until the Jojo mistakes. I understand Jojo being under a microscope given all the conversation around him, but the uncharacteristically bad performances in drafts from EG are the real cause of a swift 3-0. That's gonna do it for the blame game. Thank you all for watching. LCS Week 1 is back on Saturday, and we should finally have some full rosters for most of these teams. I personally can't wait to see people flame K2O or Berserker for not instantly stomping their matches. It's gonna be fun.
It's a new year, which means it's a new you, which means maybe you need a new computer or a new monitor or some new accessories. There's a bunch of cool stuff that just got announced, actually, that Alienware's coming out with soon. But right now, why don't you do me a favor and celebrate the new year by doing something maybe I've asked you to do before on a couple of occasions, which is to click the link in the description below and head over to alienware.com/Travis. Take a look at all the awesome stuff over at Alienware's website, where you can pick up something swell to get ready for 2022. Thanks to them for their support and their sponsorship of our content.